We commit to the bullet punch, farm down, and we leave absolutely loaded. Back out comes Rodriguez. We fire off the first Night Slash. The opponent puts up a shield and we get the boost. We fire one bullet punch and the next Night Slash. Is the opponent going to double shield? Yes, they are, but guess what, Mr. Opponent? We have Night Slash number 3. This is going to land for huge damage and we get the second boost. So welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. My name is Jamie Finn, 1415. Back in Season 8, I was the first documented trainer in the world to reach Legend only using Shadow Pokemon. I've since achieved that 4 times, Season 8, 9, 10 and 11. I've achieved this feat 3 times in the Great League, once in the Master League, Premier Classic. The only league I've been yet to do this in is the Ultra League, so that was the challenge I set myself this season. We have the Ultra League, Halloween Cup. Do I think Shadows are particularly good? I don't know, but I put together this team and my fucking god did I go on an absolute tear up. I ran 6 sets, I gained 181 ELO, including this 5-0 that you're going to see here. And we are now on that home straight. We are now sitting very pretty at 29.05. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we see the very common Drapion mirror. It is the Shadow versus Purified Brother. But as you can see on the left, I have a hundo. I absolutely am winning CMP. Essentially, this matchup comes down to who gets the debuff, who does not, or perhaps who's running Aqua Tail. But I do not recommend that absolute trash non-stab Aqua Tail in this meta. We fire off the crunch. We are going to win CMP on the next crunch. The opponent now has a decision to make. Do they want to commit a shield? They do not. Shadow prevails over its Purified Brother. They bring in a Crobat. I am going to fire off one crunch. Crunch should land for decent damage unless the opponent wants to shield it up. I'm now going to dip out into my own Crobat, saving Drapion as a sacrificial swap. Let's not kid ourselves. Scizor made of paper. We have 2 shields, but if you can give it a third, it is going to come in handy. The opponent throws the Shadow Ball, switch out into Umbreon. I fire the Poison Fang off on a CMP tie, which is going to be advantageous for myself. I am going to allow Crobat to go down. We're going to save 2 shields and the sacrificial switch for Scizor to clean up this battle. We come in to the Scizor. We are pretty glassy, but even now, I still don't need to shield up. I'm not going to shield the first move in case they go for something funky like a Psychic, looking to debuff, but the opponent didn't even build up to that. But either way, as I said, there's the sacrificial swap. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We've still got 2 shields up. We are somewhat running out of HP. The opponent comes back in to Crobat. We fire one bullet punch and the big stab Iron Head. It lands for huge damage. Can we bullet punch? Farm it down. It doesn't look like it, so we are going to fire off the Night Slash, seeing if the opponent wants to put up their final shield. They do. This is just a Poison Fang. I'm hanging on to 2 shields. We are going to have to shield up something. We can now bullet punch, farm it down. Umbreon is pretty thick, but Scizor hits like a truck. Is this Iron Head going to be enough to knock him out? No, it's not, but one more bullet punch knocks out the super bulky Umbreon, and that's all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Dragalge in the lead. Dragon Tail absolutely chunking. However, Shadow Drapion hits back for huge neutral damage. Their first crunch doesn't get the debuff, but my hundo doesn't care. 2 crunches should be enough to knock this thing out. This is now putting massive shield pressure on the opponent. The opponent is over farming heavily. This should just be an Aqua Tail. Drapion will survive. Can we get to the next crunch? We're only 2 poison stings away. We make the crunch. The opponent switches out, catching it on their own Drapion. We get the defense drop, and we are now sitting in a pretty spot. We bring in our own Crobat to soak up some damage from this Drapion. Shadow Crobat, not the bulkiest. We get hit for big neutral damage from the crunch. We are going to have to respect the second one. I really hope the opponent doesn't have Aqua Tail. They do. Can we commit to the Air Slash farm down? Yes, we can. If Dragalge does return, which it does, we're going straight for the Shadow Ball, wanting to knock this thing out. The opponent doesn't shield. Down they go. And in the back, the opponent has got a Tapu Fini. Scizor hitting them for neutral with the bullet punches. Water Fairy means it's only neutral, but we have a shield. We shield up the surf. We're going straight for the Iron Head. We need to guarantee the final shield or the damage. The opponent shields it up. They are going to have to throw before we make Iron Head number 2. This should take care of Scizor, but as we farm down that Drapion, we're almost at the Poison Fang. 1 Air Slash. Poison Fang, high Tapu Fini, bye Tapu Fini. GG's, and thanks for playing. And we're off to a 2-0 start, heading into battle number 3. We see another Drapion mirror. Holy smokes, I now know how all these basic bitches feel playing numerous mirror matches. But on a more serious note, the opponent fires first. We're looking to get towards the back-to-back crunches. Crunch didn't debuff us. Do we get the debuff? No, we don't, but either way, we still don't need to shield, even debuff, we can survive. 2 crunches, the opponent fires off, we're now looking to overfarm towards the back-to-back. We know we will win CMP tile, we fire the first crunch. The opponent obviously doesn't shield, do they want to shield crunch? Number 2, the opponent makes a great catch. Catching the crunch on Toxicroak, but high Toxicroak. Meet Crobat, air slash, absolutely tearing through the opponent. There's no need to shield anything, we're going to commit all the way to the air slash farm down. I imagine Drapion will return, so if I see that poison dark type and I'm going to be spamming out the Shadow Ball, the opponent is going to lose CMP. There's no point in firing off a Poison Fang, as it probably wouldn't care. I guarantee the damage with the Shadow Ball, and the opponent has a Confusion Venomoth in the back. Really cool pick. But air slash chunking. Confusion takes us out, but we have an absolute wall to this Venomoth in Scizor. The opponent sees the writing on the wall. Shout out Home Slice Henry, and that is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Fortress in the lead. I'm really jealous because I've been trying to build an XL Fortress for an eternity and I'm still a scrub with about 67 XLs. The opponent doesn't build up to the Earthquake, so I have no idea what they're throwing, and the opponent hits me with a Rock Tomb. We get debuff, but Shadow Drapion really doesn't care. We're going to be spamming out Crunch. After Crunch, second Crunch lands for decent damage. I am going to make one more Crunch. This will not knock out, so I am going to look to snipe it with an air slash. The opponent lets it go, and there is the snipe successful. Let's see what the opponent has for our Crobat. We actually enter now the Crobat mirror. I am going to fire off a Poison Fang. I do say no bait on this channel, but essentially I'm just going to save 2 shields for Scizor. We need to guarantee a debuff on this opponent. I'm also not shielding, and the opponent fires the Poison Fang. I fire off one more Poison Fang. The opponent this time catches it onto Overquill. Really cool pick. I'm looking to get off one more Poison Fang, which will now make the Bullet Punch farm down a lot easier. This second Poison Fang draws a shield from the opponent, and here comes Scizor. I'm not going to shield the first move in case they go for an Aqua Tail, and that's exactly what the opponent does, not the play. I look to commit to the Bullet Punch farm down on 1 HP and the Dream. Overquill makes one final Aqua Tail. This is an easy shield. We're now going to throw one Bullet Punch, and the Night Slash Crobat will shit its pants, put up its final shield, but it's all in vain because one more Bullet Punch and the next Night Slash is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. So we managed to go a perfect 5-0 in my first set of the day today. We was at 28-34, I believe. We did end up at 29-05. You love to see it home straight. And we'll have a few bonus battles from yesterday because this team is really fun. Moving on into bonus battle number 1. We see Nidoqueen in the lead. We go straight for the Crunch. Crunch is going to land for big neutral damage. As always, kids, stay in school, learn to count. We are going to catch a potential Earth Power on our Crobat, but as always, the opponent throws the Poison Fang bait. Either way, we don't really care, as Crobat does tank that. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. They now answer with Umbreon. We fire off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang isn't going to do a lot of damage, but it does lower the opponent's defense. As our own defense is lowered, this foul play is going to land for some pretty big damage. I don't think Umbreon had ever hit something as hard. Either way, I'm not really bothered. The opponent does outpace us. To the next foul play, I'm just going to allow our Crobat to go down. We can come back in to our super healthy Drapion. The opponent is going to have to fire off. Last resort, I fire at good timing, firing off the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb with the defense drop is going to land for some huge damage. The opponent now brings back out the Nidoqueen. I am going to fire off the Crunch. I am going to force the opponent to Earth Power me, and as always, we are going to save our shields for Scizor. The opponent does fire off what could be an Earth Power once again. I am saving my shields. The opponent does go for the Earth Power. Now Scizor comes in, commits to the Bullet Punch farm down. Show me that third Pokemon. And in the back, the opponent has their own Crobat. As I am a Shadow Scizor user, I know the opponent is going to go for a Poison Fang, so I choose to go on alignment. Cool, and they go for the Poison Fang, which they do. We get the boost. You love to see it. I'm still not going to shield up a resisted Poison Fang. Scizor laughs it off. I throw one Bullet Punch, and the Night Slash. Night Slash is going to land for big damage. Unless they shield, they commit their first shield. We get the double boost. Holy smoke, Scizor is about to absolutely go off. Back out comes Umbreon. We shield up the foul play, commit to the Bullet Punch farm down. Back out comes their own Crobat. Bullet Punch tearing through the opponent. I fire one more Night Slash. This draws the final shield from the opponent. We will make one more Night Slash, but Crobat doesn't survive. And that's all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. We see another Nidoqueen in the lead. The opponent immediately safe switches into a Snarl Mandibuzz, and to be honest, I'm more than happy to stay in this matchup. The opponent probably is running Double Dark, but I've got two better responses for Nidoqueen in the back. So I am going to start spamming out Sludge Bombs at this Mandibuzz. First Sludge Bomb lands for decent damage. This is why I do not recommend Aqua Tail, because what the fuck are you going to do against Mandibuzz? Aqua Tail it to death? I think fucking not. The opponent is now deep in the red. I don't need to shield up this next Aerial Ace, because Aerial Ace is an absolute garbage move. We are going to be able to survive the next Aerial Ace. I'm going to throw one Poison Sting and the Sludge Bomb. It's up to the opponent. If you want switch, Mr. Opponent, feel free to shield. I really don't care. We fire off the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb does draw a shield from the opponent. They commit to the Snarl farm down. I'm going to come in with Crobat and look to soak up some damage. Crobat, not the bulkiest, but it does tank charge moves better than Scizor. We commit to the air slash farm down. I imagine the opponent is going to bring in the final Pokemon, another Dark type. What a surprise. Nidoqueen, Double Dark. As always, I fire off the Poison Fang on a CMP type. Poison Fang is going to lower the opponent's defense. Let's see if I survive this foul play. If I do, I am going to spam out Scizor as up 2 shields. We should have no problem cleaning up this battle. The opponent throws on 8. I believe this is enough for an Earth Power, but as always, I absolutely dare the opponent to Earth Power me. They do not, and that is going to seal the opponent's fate. I'm not baiting. Unlike the opponent, I'm going straight for the Iron Head. The opponent shows no respect. They make one final Poison Fang. Again, still not shielding. Scizor, super glassy, but we don't shield. Resisted moves on the channel. We commit to the Bullet Punch farm down. Back out comes Umbreon. I fire one Bullet Punch and the Iron Head. Iron Head draws Umbreon's final shield. The opponent knowing that is the hardest move left in the game. The opponent is looking to Snarl, farm us down, but Scizor makes one final Iron Head. My switch timer pops up. Combo play, Big Mac and the fries. Poison Fang is going to take care of Umbreon. It actually doesn't. It's got 6 million HP, but the next Air Slash would knock out. So two shields saved for next season. Moving on to the next one. We see the Shadow Drapion mirror. I absolutely hate mirror matches. Well, some aren't too bad, but mirror matches where you fire off resisted charge moves at one another are super boring. The opponent fires their crunch, they get the defense drop. You absolutely hate to see it. I fire the crunch and no defense drop. You also hate to see that. But what you do love to see is my 15-15-15 Drapion winning CMP. The defense drop isn't that crucial in this mirror, because either way you do need 3 charge moves to win. So there's a bonus of having a hundo. The opponent is going to either have to catch or put up a shield. Let's see what they want to do. I fire off one more crunch. Does the opponent put up a shield? They do not. We win lead. Let's see what the opponent comes into. They come in to Nidoqueen, so we save Drapion for a sacrificial swap and come into our safe switch of the bat. They go straight for a Poison Fang, bit of a questionable play, as I obviously wasn't going to shield. They now come in to Drifblim. We go straight for the Shadow Ball. After 4 Air Slashes, the opponent has gone for a CMP type. Best case scenario for myself, we're not going to shield the bat. We're going to put it all on Scizor, as always. The opponent is energy dry, so they are going to have to go for 5 hexes to get to the Shadow Ball. This is just 4. I don't know why people love to bait Shadow Pokemon, but Icy Wind not drawing my shield. I'm going to throw 4 Bullet Punches and the Night Slash. Let's see if the opponent wants to commit that final shield. Yes, they do, but Mr. Opponent, we're at the back-to-back once again. Scizor gets the boost, and we are about to go off for about the 10th time in the video. Down goes the balloon. Back out comes Nidoqueen. I think this is just a Poison Fang. I'm just really excited. Riding the boost, so as always, commit a shield when you get the boost, and we're going to hit this thing all the way to oblivion with the Iron Head. Get fucking wrecked, Nidoqueen. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the final battle of the video, we see Obstagoon in the lead. Kind of neutral matchup for Drapion. Poison Sting doesn't do a lot. Counter is doing somewhat of more substantial damage. Let's see if the opponent has Cross Chop. They do, but Drapion shrugs it off, throws one Poison Sting and the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb hits Obstagoon super hard. This is why you run it instead of Aqua Tail. The opponent can fire off one more Cross Chop. I'm still not shielding. We are going to survive and make the next Sludge Bomb, so the opponent can shield if they want. We already know that Scizor up 2 shields is absolutely fucking lethal. The opponent does commit a shield. We're going to allow ourselves to go down, not wanting to give up switch advantage. We come in to the bat. The opponent is going to fire for Night Slash. Night Slash won't do too much damage. Well, I say that, Crobat, pretty glassy. It does a decent chunk. They now switch out into their own bat. As we're up shields, I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. The opponent actually fires off a Poison Fang, so there's really no need for me to shield. Poison Fang doesn't do a lot. We go straight for the Shadow Ball. Is the opponent willing to commit the final shield? No, they're not. Immediate switch now into Scizor. I am going to look to commit to the Bullet Punch farm down. Can I make it before the annoying Poison Fang? I cannot. I don't need to shield, but this does mean when Obstagoon does return, counter is really going to chunk. I'm looking top right. If I see that dark normal type in return, I'm going to throw one Bullet Punch and the Night Slash. Let's see what the opponent does. Back out comes Obstagoon. We fire off the Night Slash. If the opponent does shield, we will outpace to the second Night Slash. The opponent lets it go. Show me that third Pokemon, and it is Gengar. We have a lowered defense. Shadow Claw absolutely tearing for us. Can we make that back-to-back Night Slashes? The first one is going to draw the shield. Scizor running out of HP, but we make the Night Slash on 1 HP and a Dream, and it's going to be Night-Night, Sleep Tight, Gengar. GG's, and thanks for playing. Holy smokes, I didn't know if Scizor would make it, but it has never let me down. What an absolute monster. I believe this next battle is the final battle of the video, so let's get right into it. We see Genesect in the lead, a pretty scary Pokemon. It's super attack weighted and Techno Blast hits like an absolute truck. I go straight for the Crunch, and who's worried because Drapion also hits like a trunk. We get the defense drop. I'm saving my shields as always. Scizor needs all the shields it can get. The opponent just goes for a Magnet Bomb. I outpace the Crunch. Number 2, is the opponent willing to give up a shield? They are not. Down goes Genesect. They now come in to a Runerigus. I am going to win CMP to the Sandtomb, but the opponent makes what they think is a good catch. Onto Galarian Weezing, but guess what? It's Scizor time. The opponent is going to be able to hit me with an Overheat. This is going to be enough for the Overheat. They're going to only make one move, so there's no point in them baiting. They go for that Hail Mary. It looks like the opponent has quit or stopped attacking. Let's find out. Back out comes Runerigus. They are still in the game, but we are loaded. We fire one Night Slash. Runerigus shields it up. We get the boost. We fire one Bullet Punch, and the next Night Slash. Is the opponent willing to double shield? Yes, they are. We make one more Night Slash because Scizor farmed that opponent all the way down. We were loaded, and we get the second boost. The opponent has a boatload of energy. I don't care if you bait me because the Bullet Punch, that snuck, is going to do huge damage. The opponent does bait me, but Scizor has essentially run through this opponent's backline. Shadow Ball takes us out. The opponent has 1 HP and a Dream. 1 Air Slash is all she wrote, and that pretty much seals the way the video went. Scizor getting the boost, me boosting up Elo. You love to see it. So those were the battles with my Triple Shadow team in the Halloween Cup. I had so much fun running this team. To be honest, I just threw 3 Pokemon together. I'm really surprised how well it functioned, but you've got about 2 days left of Halloween Cup, so give this team 4 a try yourself. Ultra League is super bulky, and this team makes quick work of the meta. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, because I hope to bring you the video where I reach Legend for the 5th time, only using Shadow Pokemon soon. So thanks for watching, and see you all in the next